What's the crack, lads? Welcome back to the channel. Another tier list on the way. We're looking at midfielders and we're going to be ranking the best 30 plus midfielders in the game. Agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Let's go. All right, let's get straight into it. We're going to start with the C tier and we're going to fill that out a little bit, right? Now, I'm going to try and only have about 8 players in the actual GOAT meta tier, right? So the likes of Goody, the likes of Pep. These guys, man, in the comments, I know you guys will be like, oh, Guardiola's a beast for me, Goody's a beast for me. I do get that. There's none of these cards that are really C tier, especially the likes of the guys that you're going to see in here. But obviously, when you're comparing in a vacuum like this, you're comparing the likes of Pep with Vieira. You're not comparing Pep as a non-meta player in the game, or Jude Bellingham Showtime as a non-meta player in the game. So it is kind of difficult when you're putting the best midfielders in the game up against each other. There has to be some sort of, discrepancy with it. I'm going to get a couple of things that you disagree with as well. Beckham is probably the first one. I might have a look at these as well towards the end. I'll tidy this up a little bit. I will probably change as well. Iniesta is definitely one that I probably will put up a little bit higher. I mean, Iniesta, when he first came out, lads, was absolutely insane. Shooting, passing, dribbling, ball stuck to his foot. But I just think he's been kind of overshadowed by a lot of the new attacking midfielders that are coming out now that can do all of that, but still have a little bit more speed and velocity in their attacks, right? Davids is going to be thrown up into the A tier. Again, is he a meta tier? Is he an S tier? Yes. Busquets probably could be there as well. Ambrosini, one of my favorite players that I've used in the game in eFootball 24. Not as good now. Same with Jared. I love Jared when he first came out. This is the booster that we have of him. Shinji Kagawa, lads. This one is pulling on my heartstrings. Xavi is a player I haven't really used, but Kagawa, I'm really torn about where to put Kagawa because he's one of the best attacking midfielders that I've used in the game, but I don't see anybody using him. Now, I know a lot of people on the stream will, talk about him a good bit, and I do really enjoy playing with him, but it's like Ambrosini. I'm trying to make this as fair as possible, and there is a couple of personal choices in here. Rijkaard, he's already featured in the defenders section of this, and if you've missed that tier list, you can go back and check that out. Patrick Vieira, best player in the game, I think by a country mile. He goes into the meta tier. We don't need any clips to show there, to be honest with you, lads. Looking at this straight up here now, right? The big decision I probably have to make is either Gilberto Silva or Rodri or Pirlo. Do they go all meta tier? Because I'll be honest with you, Hullet, I haven't really played that much with Hullet, even though I have all the versions of Hullet, but Hullet is going to be more for centre forward. He's still meta though. I mean, you have to kind of put him up towards the meta or the A. So I'll tidy this up a little bit. Again, Frankie de Jong, I know this will annoy a few people. The new Barella will annoy a few people, probably putting him into A rather than meta. This is where a bit of personal opinion comes into it. There's no real right or wrong in this. So we do actually move Shinji back down here into the Bs and we put Platini up into the A. I just think Platini, since I started using him, he has transformed that attacking midfielder position for me. He's better than Musiala. He's better than Shinji Kagawa. I know a lot of people rate Philip Lahm and Kimmich. I'm going to put Kimmich into B and I'm going to put Lahm into A. I know a few people were complaining saying that Lahm is down as a right back and he wasn't featured in the last one or he wasn't as high on the last tier. But anytime I've struggled up against Philip Lahm, it's when he's been in midfield. The same with Gilberto Silva. I kind of have to put him into meta, lads. The only two defensive midfielders that I actually really hate coming up against is Silva and Vieira. Rijkaard, Hullet, Pirlo, Zakaria, who's missing from this list, Rodri, they don't really do anything, to stop what we're trying to do. But Alonso, again, one of my favorite players. If you guys are familiar with the stream, I might take him out of meta, but for now I'm going to leave him up there in the top tier. Is he in the top 10 players in the game overall? That is the big question when you start to bring in defenders and strikers. All of these guys in the meta top, are in the top 20 players in the game. So does Alonso kind of deserve to be there? Paul Scholes as well. We did spin for him. OC donated yesterday on the stream and Wrap It Up donated. We did actually spin and get a double pack. So we did get Scholesy. We tested him out. But I actually think that Scholesy and Xavi and those type of players, I feel like that the game doesn't really kind of like reward these types of players. The small, non-nimble players. Even though Scholes has got insane stats and skills, he just doesn't have that same nimbleness. And you guys will know if you've played a lot of games. It's not just about stats sometimes. It's how the players, are on in the game. Is it a bit harsh putting Scholes down that far? We'll revisit that in a second, and Iniesta towards the end as well. But Pedri does round off our C tier. Now, there's going to be a couple of more into B and A than C and the meta tier, obviously, because, I do want to make it a little bit that whoever is in meta are the best. So we've rounded this off. Now, this Kante up at the top is meant to be the free version of Kante. he only gets bonus points because he's a free card, and it's probably one of the most overpowered free cards they've ever released. Zico, Nedved, and Mateus, they're going to round us off into the A. Now I'm going to tidy up a little bit, so don't panic, don't leave the video just yet. We're going to round this up a little bit, and let me know what you think of my final positioning. So Patrick Vieira is going to be the ultimate for me. I think he's the best. For sheer keeping this fair, I'm going to put Hullet into the top 5 or 6. Pirlo has to be number 1 or 2, even though I prefer Xabi Alonso myself. I'm letting my head rule my heart for once. So we're going to kind of tidy this up, and we're going to leave Rijkaard and Hullet up there. As I said, Hullet is going to feature in the attackers video as well. That's going to be up next, and Rijkaard is already featured in our defenders list, if you guys have missed that. So we just kind of tidy this up a bit, and this is kind of my final thoughts. Now, listen, this can change week to week. Like, with Konami, you know, with the gameplay and the way the AI works and stuff, there's a couple of even looking at this back and kind of analysing this. There's a couple of these here that I'm not really fully happy with. I mean, for me, Shinji Kagawa has to be an A player, boys. He just has to be. He's just been a beast for me. But putting him into A tier with the rest of these guys, I know a lot of people are going to complain about it, you know, so I'm trying to be fair. But yeah, I'm fairly happy with that, man. We've the new Stakovic there as well at the end. Let me know what you guys think of this final list. What have I got right? What have I got wrong? And yeah, let me know. Let me know how right or wrong I am. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you enjoyed the video. Up next is attackers, which is going to include attacking midfielders. That's why they're not in this video. So hope you guys enjoy it. We'll see you soon. Peace.